Dana, would you lead us in honoring this great nation?
Yes. Would y'all join me? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Bilberry, would you lead us in a word of prayer?
Father, we come to you this morning and we thank you for all of your grace and your mercy. Lord, we just ask for your guidance in this meeting today. Father, we know there are those in our community and in our country that have lost loved ones. And we just ask that you comfort them and keep your arms around them and be with them, Lord, at this time in their life, Father. And we know that you love us, and we know that you care about us, and we know that you sent your Son, Jesus, for us. And we ask it in his name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Miss Cindy, do we have a quorum?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Yes, you do.
Thank you. Approval of minutes, August 19th, 2021. Commissioners, any questions or discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes for
Second.
our August meeting.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Taylor to approve the minutes from the August 19th, 2021 meeting. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Passes unanimously. Commissioners, we're going to do some reports today, but I'd like to get our treasurer, Ms. Charlotte, to come up and kind of brief us on on a situation that we're going to have to deal with for the next few years as far as our property taxes and that, so she can give an explanation to all of us on what we're going to be dealing with, and I'm sure people will be asking us questions as we see them. So Charlotte's going to give us a briefing on what those explanations for the property owners will be.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. In 2019, there was a bill, House Bill 407, which was the 50-year election revamp. Well, in that bill, there was a small section that affected the Treasurer's Office. We were not aware until the very last minute once the bill had gone through all of the committees. So we're having to adjust. And basically what this entails is that school districts throughout the state can put a bond issue on the ballot, and it would be effective for that current tax year. In 2019, Chaves County did not have that case. However, we do this year. We have a small portion of the Elida School District, which is in Commissioner Bilberry's district. And because of that, we are going to have to delay our tax collection process for at least a month this year. And we are partnering with Roosevelt County. They are the lead because they do cover majority of Elida School District. However, because we do have a small portion, which amounts to approximately $86,000 of our $34.5 million tax bill, it will affect us this year. Yes, we've looked at several options, but the only thing we can do is delay our tax bill. Because we run on under statute timelines, we did have to request an extension. The tax bill this year will not go out until December 1st. And the reason for that is because the election is on November 2nd. Since it is a multi-county election, it will have to be canvassed by the Secretary of State's office. That's on November 23rd. After that, the outcome we will know, and the assessor's office will be able to input the accurate tax rates and then send them over to us. We will then contact our print vendor for the tax bills, and they will have 1 week to get those tax bills printed and mailed out so that we meet our December 1st deadline. The first half of the payment will be due December 10th and will become delinquent after January 10th. What this means for all of our taxing authorities is normally we have our high distribution amounts for November and December. That includes all of the school districts throughout Chaves County, as well as the municipalities, the colleges, the townships, everyone that is on our distribution for the property taxes that we collect. That's going to delay the high distribution amounts and will now be reflected in January, February. That does include Chaves County. Chaves County receives a portion of the property taxes. So everything is going to be delayed. We are working with the state to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row so that we can make sure that we get this information out to the taxpayers. We will be, I will be doing a PSA for TV. We will be putting it in the newspaper and getting the information out, hopefully at the fair booth that we have this year. So we are doing everything we can to inform the public that the tax bills will be delayed this year until December 1st. This is going to impact those that have to pay their taxes so that they meet their tax obligations for the year. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed on what is occurring and the steps that we are taking to make sure that we stay ahead of the game. I will stand for any questions.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Charlotte?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I am assuming that you've already looked at this. There is no way to just delay the tax bills for the properties that are located within the Alida School District? And
Mr.
do
Chairman.
everything else?
Mr.
on the
Chairman,
normal
Commissioner
schedule?
Ezell, that was one of the options that we had taken a look at. But what would occur at that point is that we would have different bills going out with different due dates, which would require our system to have to configure to meet those. So it would just cause a nightmare for us having to work with two different due dates on there. So just to make it clear across the board, we decided to go ahead and extend the due date for all of Chaves County. That was one of the options that we had looked at.
How many property parcels are?
That, I don't have the number of parcels, I didn't bring that with me, but like I said, it is a very, very small portion to the tune of about $86,000 that was on our tax bill this year.
It seems like we could do that by hand.
Yes, but, we've looked at the different scenarios, and it would be a nightmare if we were to send out the regular tax bills and then just have a small portion. It would affect our distribution, it would affect the due dates, our printing schedules. It would just cause too many issues for us to have to oversee.
Ms. Charlotte, and I would say to Commissioner Zell's question and why we wouldn't do that, the one thing that we have to take into consideration is that we're going to have to do this same thing next year for the Dexter schools, which is going to affect more of the county in that case. And so you might as well get everybody prepped up in this go-round to understand what's going on.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Zell, that is correct. The portion in the bill does allow for the mill levies to be on the ballot for 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So we are looking at Dexter schools next year, followed by Lake Arthur schools in 2023.
Thank you, Daniel Ivy Soto.
Yeah.
Commissioners, any other questions? So, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the three things that we should come away with this, number one, is that for most of the citizens of Chaves County, their tax bill is not going to change because this is really going to affect those ranchers and folks over in the Kenna area where Commissioner Bilberry lives.
Mr. Chairman, yes, that's correct.
Okay, and then the other part is those that are receiving the funds that they're supposed to be, those are going to be delayed, but for this reason. And that this is probably something that we're going to have to do again next year. Because we'll, obviously, as commissioners, you, other members of the county are going to be asked, why is that happening? And it's because of this House bill that was passed, and we don't really have any options other than to proceed as we are.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. We have been notifying all of our taxing authorities with our distribution that we mailed out this month for the collection that we did last month. We have sent out bills to all of our mortgage and escrow companies because, of course, that is going to affect them as well. And we are sending out letters to all of the taxing authorities, just advising that if there are any budgetary concerns, then they will have to contact DFA. DFA is fully aware. We've been meeting continuously with DFA and also the New Mexico Property Tax Division to make sure that, we do this by the book. And like I said, we do follow statute. We are bound by statutory deadlines. So our first step was to request an extension from the state to do this. So we've been trying to put all of our ducks in a row just to make sure that we have all of our, I's crossed, I's dotted and T's crossed so that, we don't have an issue. I know there's going to be perhaps some of your constituents that may be contacting you, but this is really because of that House bill that the clerk's office had worked on, for their revamp on the election. And on the agenda this morning, you do have the tax certificate, which Bill will be presenting. Within that tax certificate, there are two different sets of levies. One would be for the status quo, meaning no change, and then the one would be for the due pass. So once we know, the outcome of the election, then of course we will enter the appropriate tax rates, or the assessor's office will. So, yeah. And Sandra, is there anything that you would like to add as far as?
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. I would just like to add that, as well as discussions with Charlotte, Ron and I have had numerous discussions over this. And the problem possibly starts with the assessor's office because we can't certify just a portion of the tax roll. Before we can send it to Charlotte, we have to do it all at once. We have to enter all of the new values, and then we have this 14-step process that we have to go through, and then we send the tax roll to her. And if it was possible to do it portions at a time, that would then give her the ability to possibly send out separate tax bills. But at this point in time, that isn't even an option because it has to all of the tax rates have to be certified at the same time. So my apologies, and we are on standby and ready to go the minute that that they're canvassed. But that will take a little bit of time in our office as well. So it doesn't mean she's going to get them that day. She won't. It will take us a little bit of time to enter them. And I've got people on standby to do that just absolutely as quickly as we can.
For the first year of assuming the bond issue passes, for the first year, would it not be possible to send out the status quo tax bills on a regular basis and then add the 1 mil, the 2 mil, whatever the bond rate is to the second half that goes out in May?
I don't believe so. That is because once we enter the rates and certify, it's out of our hands. We can't do anything to it anymore, and then it belongs to Charlotte. And she would be working with really not accurate amounts. I don't know how logistically that could be fixed later on because I can't go back in. The only way I can go back in and make changes is if Charlotte refuses it. And once she has accepted it and it has gone to the company that prepares those tax bills, we're kind of on a road where we can't turn around. And I want you to know our office has spent a lot of time researching. We've talked to software people. We've tried to figure out if there wasn't some mechanism. And from my side, there doesn't appear to be anything that we can do except be ready when we know those rates are official, and I assure you, we will be ready.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, just one side note. In delaying the property tax bills, this is also going to affect the protest period for the assessor's office. So we are having to notify the administrative office of the courts that we will have an extended due date on there so that they can extend the protest dates as well. So, we are working closely, and like she said, once she sends over the tax bill, I reconcile and make sure that our numbers are in sync. I approve that, then we have to extract all of the mortgage escrow accounts, send those off, and apply all of our prepayments. So there is a process, and once we hit that go button, there's really no way to turn back.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bilbert?
Charlotte, I just a question. I contacted the chairman of the Elida School District, and they didn't know that they would, a bond, they would, or not a plan to have a bond in this election. What would that?
For the Elida School District?
Yeah, for the Elida School District, yeah.
Mr.
So-
Chairman, Commissioner, I did contact Roosevelt, and the information that we received, the list that we have came from DFA, and I did reach out to Roosevelt County, and they did confirm that it was going to be on the ballot.
Okay,
So-
he may have misunderstood. I just texted him, and he may have misunderstood what I was asking.
Commissioners, any other questions?
It's not
Well, I would say thank you guys, and that this is not an issue that was created by Chaves County. This is an issue that was created by our legislature in 2019, and we're just dealing with it the best you guys can, and we appreciate all the hard work that you guys are doing to get this accomplished. And it's not only going to be this year, but it's going to be next year, and then 2023 also. So anyway, thank you guys very much.
Thank
Is
you.
there a legislative fix that we can,
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, perhaps that's one of the things that we may address at our legislative session, the Treasurer's Affiliate, as we go forward in January. So, I mean, there's just a handful of the 33 counties that were affected this year. There were others that were affected in 2019, and luckily, they have outlined all of the steps that they have taken, so we did not have to reinvent the wheel. We just contacted them. They've guided us on the steps that they've taken. So perhaps, there may be a legislative fix. This was something that we found at the very last minute, and it was Laura Montoya, who was the treasurer at the time for Sandoval County. She was our legislative liaison for the Treasurer's Affiliate. And by the time we saw the content in there, it was too late to make any changes.
wow.
So,
That's unusual.
so, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Stan just asked how late the distribution was going to be. Normally, and like I stated, the heavy distribution amounts would be November, December for all of our taxing authorities. Now that's going to be January, February. Tax bill will go out on December 1st. Payment is due December 10th and becomes delinquent January 10th. So with that, everything that we collect will not go out until January, February. So we've notified, we've sent letters out, like I said, just explaining if there are any budgetary needs to contact DFA, they're fully aware.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one. With the tax notices, will you make it very, very clear that these are delayed and what the timelines will be?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, yes, I plan on putting an insert in the tax bill so that they're aware of why. And of course, we will have the PSA on television that I believe Sandra and I are going to do together.
Good.
And we are going to put that in the newspaper. We are required by state to have it no less than 3 weeks. So we are going to do everything in our power to inform the taxpayers why and when they are due.
Thank you.
That's quite the curveball you've been thrown.
Yeah, it's more like a knuckleball. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Really
you,
appreciate
ladies.
y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Miss Andrea Moore, please come up and give us a Chamber of Commerce report, please.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. So I am pleased to report today that we are finally finished with our 3-year audit that was required by the City of Roswell when the contract between the Chamber of Commerce and the city was severed back in 2019. If I can remember correctly, it was March of 2019. And it's no surprise that there were no significant findings other than what we had already known, that there was just some mismanagement going on within the office that has since been cleaned up since August of 2020 when I came in and took over the office. One of the significant things that I am pleased to report through all of this COVID process is that the Chamber of Commerce did take out a PPP loan, and it has since been fully satisfied and forgiven as of about 2 weeks ago. We have all of the paperwork in the office and has been given to our accounting firm so that way they can make the appropriate ledger notifications so that way our financials are reflected appropriately. We are going forward with planning our Rise with Roswell breakfast that was on hiatus for the last 2 years due to COVID. So in March of 2022, so next March, we will be having that breakfast, and we're excited to do so. Since agriculture is obviously a huge industry within Chaves County, and we are looking at bringing back possibly the balloon rally, but that would not be until the end of 2022 because we'd like to do that towards the fall, it kind of in conjunction with the balloon rally up in Albuquerque. It just makes more sense. So because people are already coming through the area, why not piggyback on what we've already got going up in Albuquerque and get more of those tourist dollars to come back into Chaves County, either prior or before. So we're in talks with the other balloonists that attend the balloon rally and see what their recommendations are, whether they want to do it prior to the balloon rally up in Albuquerque or if they want to do it directly after. It is looking like they would prefer to do it right before so that way they can stop here for a couple of days and then go up instead of doing 2 full weeks up in Albuquerque and then coming back down. And we're just moving right along with our magazine. Our deadlines for advertising is coming up pretty quickly. So that way we can get that out. Hopefully we'll hit doorsteps the end of the first full week in October for all of Chaves County. And as we start to see more and more people enjoying the magazine and wanting to have it hit their doorsteps, we're looking into a mechanism to be able to do a subscription for anybody that is outside of the boundaries of Chaves County. So that way we can at least recoup the costs for the postage. And with that, I stand for any other questions.
Excuse me, Commissioners, any questions for Miss Andrea?
Mr. Chairman, Andrea, have you, with the federal unemployment going, have your businesses seen an uptick in applications or people coming in to work, or are they still struggling?
Everybody we've spoken with is still struggling. Once again, we're hoping that once all of the federal unemployment and state unemployment stipends have come to an end, that'll get more people out into the workforce, because right now it's difficult to go out and get a job when you can make more on your unemployment benefits.
How are your feedback with your businesses are they struggling?
Everybody's struggling.
It's just-
You can see it going down Main Street, for example, we have lots of businesses that have modified hours because they just don't have the people to be able to go in and work. Or you're seeing longer lines at fast food restaurants for that same reason, because, places like McDonald's have to stay open their hours, and so you're just seeing longer lines because it's taking longer to prepare food, for example. But the biggest thing I've been noticing for anybody that's outside of that food industry is a lot of modified hours, that maybe instead of being open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, they're open Tuesday through Friday, or maybe they're open just Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, very modified hours. And people I have noticed are starting to use more of that online business marketplace, so that way you can go online and order and do your shopping for our businesses because of those modified hours if you can't go in person.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners, any other questions for Andrea? Andrea, I just say thank you. Thanks for pulling this all back together. I know it's been a tough road over the last year and a half, but I think you've done a fantastic job in doing that, and I look forward to a great future for the Chamber of Commerce, and so keep rocking it.
Well, thank you. I know our job is not done yet. There is still a lot of work to be done to rebuild and repair the broken relationships that have happened over the last few years. But I think we've got a great team, not only as staff members, but as board members, and we're all up to the task to make the chamber great again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Espiritu, as soon as Glenna cleans that off for you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good morning. Just a quick update on a couple things happening. We had a site visit with another aviation company earlier in September. I guess that's this month, right? They're returning the end of this month with some of their partners. It's with their international partners. It's a rather large company. I can't really explain what they're going to do yet because I'm really not clear on what they plan on doing. But I know their U.S. corporate office is in Florida. So, but they're going to return. They liked what they saw, and as that unfolds, I'll be happy to share that with you. I can't read my writing without my glasses. My apologies. We have a couple companies we've been assisting with industrial revenue bonds. I think you're aware of some of those. Appreciate Billy work with us and helping us out on that regard. As they continue to develop those, we'll see how that happens, and we'll get you some more information on those projects. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Zell, you mentioned to me a few months ago about Nature's Dairy on South Main, and we talked a little bit about that. And to bring you up to speed, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, is Charlie Ferguson and his partner. They've purchased that. We're helping them with the lead application. They'll be processing beef and packaging at their location. They partnered with USA Beef. It's not a secret. They're moving forward. So just want to make you aware that looks promising. They've submitted their lead up information to us. We've already funneled that to the state. We're just waiting for a response. As you know, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Dana, you talked about workforce and what's happening in the community. And as you probably know, we had a job fair this past Tuesday. And I want to kind of give you an update of how that went. We had 46 companies that actually showed up. We had 4 that were no-shows, 149 participants. A lot of the businesses left early, which was disappointing to us because there were still people coming in. Not a lot of folks coming in looking for job seekers, but it was disappointing that some of them left because some of those companies people actually wanted to visit with and seek employment. What we did do was take information and fit it to the companies, and hopefully they'll contact those people and get them to work. We were very fortunate to have the State Department of Workforce really partner with us on this job fair. They were in force. They brought folks down from other communities, other centers to help us and to get folks back to work. Earlier in the month, me and my team went to Albuquerque and Santa Fe to meet with the Department of Workforce, Public Education Department, the State Economic Development Department, and others. And the purpose was to identify ways and methods to better increase our workforce and our talent pool and how we can move our county forward. As a result, that is what we saw was their help in this job fair, and so we were very appreciative of that. I looked at a product at the state level, and it was astounding the number of people we have in Chaves County that are currently on unemployment, and the number of people that are recently, within the past 6 months, on unemployment. So part of that database that I had the opportunity to see, I couldn't see all of it because of Privacy Act, I understand, but the point is the database provided people with specific skill sets. And what we're hopeful to do is link those skill sets up to employers that are looking for those type of workers, and maybe they can get those folks hired. Some folks were hired on the spot. There were over 150 jobs that we know of. We'll be reaching back out to those companies that were there Tuesday and find out how successful they were in hiring people. But they did, again, hire someone on the spot, and next month we should have some pretty good numbers for you. We spent a lot of time with, and I think last month I briefed a little bit about the community solar guard projects. As you know, the state legislature passed that legislation this past session to allow those type of projects to happen in counties and cities throughout the state. The PRC is still hopefully writing the rules, and in April of next year we'll have those available. But what we've seen is a continuing presence and tremendous amount of inquiries into land and properties in the county for these projects. And what they are seeking to do is lock up by lease or land or purchase options to secure properties in the range of 20 to 40 acres. And sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not good, because they're going to lock up that land for probably a couple of years. By the time the PRC provides the rules and the work goes through the Southwest Power Pole for the interconnection and all that kind of stuff, it's going to take some time. So these companies, and you saw in the paper possibly last week, I believe it was, where a company that secured some land up in the northwest corner of the county, of the city of Roswell. There's other companies doing that as well. And one of those is a consultant out of Atlanta that I've known for a number of years. He's seen a lot of activity in New Mexico as a result. And so I just want to make you aware of that. We're going to continue to see companies that will be coming to us to visit with people in our county to have convert land or secure options to purchase for those types of projects. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Dana, excellent points about what's going on in the local community. As you know, we weekly, if not daily, but at least weekly, we go out and visit our local small business community throughout the county. This past month, Irma Perez, our business development manager, visited 47 companies. And by far, the feedback we have, and we have it documented because we actually have somewhat of a documentation piece of it, but by far the biggest concern is his workforce. As you know, the federal subsidy for unemployment benefits ended the 6th of September, the last $300. But the issue now, and I think if you've read the news, the issue is now the child care supplement that's continuing by the federal government to provide funds to families per child. One of the issues that I think the workforce folks are very concerned about is that continuing, because that not that people don't need help, but that federal subsidy alone is significant. And the federal government may possibly even continue to extend that, which means we'll have more issues in the future in that regard. So I'm not sure there's a silver lining yet for getting folks back to work, is what I'm trying to share with you. We'll continue to reach out to our business community, feel the pulse and see what's happening, see how else we can help them be successful. But the whole point is we need to continue to work and get our arms around getting folks back into the workplace. The other piece of that, of course, is developing that talent. And as you know, that the EDC has been very involved with Career Tech Education and how we can formulate those pathways with our education communities throughout the county to create those great pathways for those young people to have a successful career after high school We obviously want them to graduate high school first, but if we continue to link them with local industries to create the apprenticeship pathways where we can use WIOA funds and other federal dollars to help fund wages for those young people, as well as provide the talent and skills they need to acquire with our local industries like Leprino and Crumlin and a bunch of others, that we can create those opportunities for young people. We've been very active with all the districts throughout our county and encouraged their participation, and hope we can see some results. Well, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that concludes this month's report. I stand for your questions.
Commissioners, any questions for Mike?
Not a question, Mr. Chair, but a comment on the Community Solar Act. The community solar projects are limited to 5 megawatts of capacity, and the legislation limits the total under the act to 200 megawatts. So throughout the entire state of New Mexico, there are going to be 40 of these, period, capped by legislation. And what everybody needs to realize is that the flurry of activity in your mailbox, if you own 20 acres anywhere within sight of a substation, is they're just trying to tie up your land. And I've got 9 of these contracts on my desk right now. So, you know, I'm not going to do 25% of the projects for the entire state. So just the public needs to be aware that it looks really good on paper, but the likelihood of you actually getting one is pretty slim. And the other thing that the public needs to realize is the people you're going to contract with are not going to be the people that build the solar facility. It just doesn't pencil. They're trying to get a potential project area under contract so that they can flip it to some co-op electrical generation company. And so just go in with your eyes open.
Commissioners, anything else? Mike, part of that, you know, looking at purchasing of land and stuff, and I guess one of my big questions that we have coming at us here in Chaves County, because we are such a agricultural county, is the recreational marijuana. So what kind of things are you seeing proceed as far as people trying to buy land so that they can establish grows here in Chaves County?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, before I answer that, if I may add one thing to Commissioner Zell's comment, and thank you for those comments, very important indeed. And the public also needs to know that it doesn't create a lot of jobs. It just doesn't, right? A solar field just doesn't do that. So it may sound like economic development. It probably is for those companies, but probably not for us. Mr. Chairman, your question about cannabis. We have, as you know, we have Pecos Valley Production with Jerry Greathouse and that family and production that's happening in our county, and that's going extremely well. We've been working with them with LEDA and JTIP applications. They build out the facility under the medical use at this point, but in terms of recreational, I know after visiting them and their consultants and being out there on site that their plant's going to continue to grow exponentially as a result of this legislation. There is a company that contacted us doing some inquiries. I'm not seeing a whole lot of it yet. I think what's happening though is because the county and the city has taken some positioning that now everyone's kind of holding back to see what happens. So I haven't seen a lot of activity yet, but I anticipate that will continue, that will grow. I just don't think we're there yet.
So you were saying that the Great House's grow is going to grow?
Yes, sir. In fact, yes. No pun intended, correct, Mr.
Right.
Chairman? But they've built additional buildings. You know, they're planning on hiring a lot more folks. They're revenue streams are very, very good today already. Their growth throughout the state is really developing with their retail dispensaries. The LEDA funds are requesting, and even the JTIP money requesting, doesn't apply to all of the employees. It only applies to the manufacturing and the cultivation perspective, but not in the retail perspective. So as we piece through that, I do know they will qualify for some funds. I'm not sure exactly what that means yet as far as those jobs. But they are continuing to hire. They plan to be at our job fair, and we're able to make it. What I found back at the job fair, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, is that a lot of folks couldn't be there or left early because they just didn't have the staff in that business. They have to get back to work. So no, I'm not faulting the business people, but in this light, everyone needs work, and workers, especially at the Great House opportunity with Pecos Valley Production. All need help.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate everything you're doing for this community, Chaves County, and keep rocking it. And I hope and I know that you and Andrew are working side by side to make great things happen. So thank you.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you.
All right, we're going to get into our agenda, and first thing up, we got Mr. Jaramillo.
Forgive me, it is my turn to put these on. Before us is agenda number 1, case Z 2021-5, request for a variance to the 5-acre minimum lot size in Area 2, being a portion of the east half of the west half of Lot 1, Section 20, Township 12 South, Range 25 East, located approximately 100 block of West Orchard Park Road. The owner, Joel Jr. Size, and agent is Smith Engineering Company. Both are here today. Mr. Size is wishing to divide his recent purchased 8.6 tract located along West Orchard Park Road, a county-maintained road, into 2 4.3 tracts. He has stated that the 2 parcels would be for his sister's family, who does not live here, and himself. Mr. Size also stated he was unaware of the 5-acre minimum requirement when he purchased a property from a coworker. The property and the surrounding area are zoned Area 2, zoned A, Agricultural Residential District. The properties to the north and east are occupied with residential dwellings. The properties to the south and west are vacant. Skyline Ranch subdivision to the north, Fisk Acres number 2 subdivision to the west are 2 subdivisions that were created in 1961 and 1962 and consists of lots that are less than 5 acres in size. Also, the adjacent property to the east was granted a variance of similar in 2007 based on those 2 subdivisions. The 5-acre minimum was established in 1981 with the enactment of the Chaves County Zoning Ordinance number 7 and was designed to protect the Roswell-Artesia water basin from overusage and contamination from local development. Roger Whitcamp, adjacent property owner to the south, did protest in writing, and he is here today. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the variance by a vote of 4-0 based on the finding of facts 1 through 6. They are: the granting of this variance is not injurious to the public's health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. 2, the adjacent parcels of land will not be affected by the variance because Mr. Size is proposing to construct 2,500 square foot homes on each property, being for his sister and family and himself. The proposed 2 4.3 acre tracts are similar in size to other parcels in the surrounding area. The hardship for the variance is based on Mr. Size's purchase of the property. 5, the granting of the variance would be within the spirit, intent, purpose, and general plan of the Chaves County Zoning Ordinance number 7. And 6, Smith Engineering Company has completed a plat showing the proposed 2 4.3 parcel acres of land. It is in your packet. There is a finding of fact number 7, which simply states Mr. Whitcamp, again, property owner to the south, did protest in writing. Staff does not recommend approval. Staff is unsure that a hardship has been established, as that the property may still be developed with the construction of 1 residential home on the 8.6 acres, and it may not be within the intent of the ordinance to permit lots of less than 5 acres in size in Area 2 to be created.
Thank you, Liz. Okay, Commissioners, this is a public hearing, and so at this time, I'll ask for anybody who is in favor of case Z 2021-5 to come to the podium, state your name and address, and give us your opinion.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Mike Douglas of Smith Engineering, 401 North Pennsylvania here in Roswell. Today we're asking for the Commissioners' approval of the 5-acre minimum lot size, a variance from that lot size. To give you a little history, Officer Sines bought the property back in February from his lieutenant with the intent of building a house for him and his sister on the 2 lots. So he hired a local architect who developed some house plans. They're nice ranch-style homes, 2,500 square feet. Then he became aware of the 5-acre minimum, so that's why we're here today. The lieutenant didn't disclose that there's a 5-acre minimum. He didn't know. It's an easy oversight because most of the lots in that area are less than 5 acres, including the property to Mr. Sines east, which was granted a variance from the minimum 5-acre setback in 2007. So I noticed in the findings of fact that granting this variance for Mr. Sines would set a precedent, but I would argue that that was already set back in 2007 by granting the variance to his neighbor, who has a 4.1 acre lot, and then the house next to him is on a 1-acre lot. Most of the lots out in that area are less than 5 acres. I believe the statute of the minimum 5-acre requirement was to avoid contamination of their artesian aquifer. I spoke with the officer, the state engineer, and he wouldn't have any issues with granting well permits for the 2 lots if this is approved. The lots on either side of Mr. Sines go to the shallow water aquifer, which is strong in that area, so they wouldn't be drilling down into the artesian aquifer, so there's no risk of contamination of the artesian aquifer there. We just see this as a good opportunity to have this property developed in a way that conforms with the area, the lot sizes in that area, and with some nice homes. The hardship would be he would have to start over, look for a new property to build for himself and his sister and sell this property, and might end up moving a single wide out there, like a lot of those houses in that area. So we don't see this as something that's going to deter from the property values surrounding that area. There'll be nice ranch-sized homes, and Mr. Sines is a state police officer, can't hurt the neighborhood. But we'd be happy for your consideration, and I can stand for any questions.
Maybe after the hearing. Thank you.
You bet.
Anybody else in favor? Anybody else in favor?
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I wrote up something.
Would you state your name and address?
Yes, my name
for
is
the record?
Joel Junior Sines. I live on 310 West Washington Street in Hagerman, New Mexico. I wrote up a speech, but something that comes from your heart, you might as well just say it coming from it rather than reading off of it. So back in January, I was promoted to sergeant with New Mexico State Police.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't know if you guys believe, but God works in mysterious ways. Before that property was purchased, I went out to West Orchard just to look at properties and land. My lieutenant congratulated me, and he's like, he lives in Albuquerque, and he's like, hey, I have acres out there that I'm willing to sell. And I'm like, where? He's like, off of West Orchard. I was like, wow, well, let's purchase them then. We came up with a good number. I bought them. At the time, I did not know about the variance and the rules and regulations. I have no excuse for that. I should have looked into it. So I bought the land. I told my sister about it. My sister currently lives in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and things are not going too good over there. So I want to bring her down south. So we came up with the idea that we would split the land and we'll build 2 houses that mirrored each other. I've done everything locally. Started off with Fidelity, and they helped me get the land. Then I went to Donald Dougherty. He's an architect. I went with him. He has plans that he has given me. They're preliminary at this moment, but I have them here. It's a 2,400 square foot home, ranch style house, and also have a picture of it. And this is what I want to build off of West Orchard Park. It'd be mirrored houses for me and my sister. You guys can see. Of course, with your approval, I'd like to bring my sister and us down here, and we can build. It's what's going to happen is it's actually help. I'm thinking it's going to help the property value of other houses around. I'm not going to throw double wide or anything like that on there. I'm actually going to build a house. I'm going to invest in living in Chavez County and do everything locally. Pretty much, I think that's it. I just ask you guys if you guys can help me bring a law-abiding, God-fearing family down from Morgan to Chavez County. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, I'm free.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else that's in favor of this variance? Do we have anybody online that has anything to say? Glenn, are you having to do 2 jobs? Oh, there's Fredo. He was napping over there.
You woke him up.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Going once, going twice. Okay, is there anybody in the audience that is in opposition of this variance? If so, please come to the podium, state your name and address.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. My name is Aaron Bollock. I'm the superintendent for the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District at 2303 East 2nd Street. The PVACD Board of Directors is extremely opposed to these types of variants for the sole purpose of the impacts on our shallow and artesian aquifers. As stated earlier, this would be a shallow well, but as you well know, the state engineer cannot limit domestic wells, and domestic wells are not subject to a meter order. If a domestic well is a shared well, well, then it would be subject to having to put a meter on it. We would have some ability, even though it is through self-reporting, we would have some ability to account for the added strain on the shallow aquifer. We see this as one of the biggest threats to our shallow aquifer in this basin, because there is no methodology behind who puts in what and where. Really the only concern for the state engineer's office are the legal standoffs. Other than that, yes, they do put a restriction on the amount of water that can be pumped from a domestic well, but without a meter on it, there's no way to know whether that's in compliance or not. And so for that reason and that reason alone, the PVACD is opposed to this type of variance.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else here in the audience that is in opposition to this variance? Anybody else in the audience that's in opposition? Anybody out there watching the meeting have any opposition? Going once, going twice. All right. Commissioners, questions, discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I have a few questions. I don't know if this is for Louis or Mr. Sines. Will there be 2 wells on each of the properties, one for each house? And what about septic tanks? 2 septic tanks, 2 wells, 2 septics?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, so you'll have to drill a well for each house and then a septic for each house?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay,
that's correct.
Okay. If you decide that How long have you been in Chaves County, assigned to Chaves County?
So I've actually have 9 years on the department. I've been in Chaves County. I've been working with Sheriff Harrington since 2015.
Okay.
Doing every 15-minute program. So I've been part of this community. Just it's the first time I ever purchased land and made a big investment, and I made the mistake for not looking over that variance.
So if you are assigned someplace else within the department, I mean, you have a land and home now, you'd have to sell it
So
and move to another place if you're assigned to another area, another district?
So that won't happen. Well, this is a big investment I'm doing in my life, and I'm going to stay for good. This is it. Yes.
Okay.
You go to work for the sheriff's department if they're reassigned.
There you go.
When I
Okay.
retire, I'll go for sheriff.
Watch out, Mike.
He's doing a fantastic job. I can't.
Okay. So, and your sister is committed to coming down and,
Yeah, she's actually an educator, so she's talking with Gateway to be a teacher there. She actually currently works at a Christian private school in Oregon.
if this is approved, what is the timeline for building the house?
Once we get approval, within a year.
Within a year?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And just to let you know, I'm not here to build a house and go ahead and sell it. I'm here to stay. Just, I'm not an investor or anything like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Before you leave the mic,
apologize.
Commissioners, you have any other questions for? Go ahead,
Not for the
Commissioner.
sergeant.
Oh. What's that?
Not for the sergeant.
Oh, okay, well, let me ask you a question while
Smith Engineering.
you're still standing up here. So it appears that one of the major concerns is that you're going to be drilling 2 wells. Would you be up to just doing 1 well for both pieces of property?
If that's what it takes to build 2 houses, I'm willing to do that.
Okay. And you think 1 well would suffice for both houses?
I believe so, yes, sir. I would have to, of course, speak to the professionals on that. I don't really know much about wells, but if it takes for have 1 well for 2 houses, I'll be willing to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Commissioner Zell.
Okay. I want to address what I think are some of the equities involved here. Lot 1 of Section 30 would be the northwest quarter, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Why is it called Lot 1?
Well, the way that
I was going to say, come on up to the podium.
The way those townships were surveyed originally, they started out at the southeast corner and worked north and west from there, trying to go exactly a mile by a mile. Well, it doesn't work out that way. The townships were surveyed first, and then they go out and put the sections. They end up with slots along the west line and the north line. So those are called lots, because they're not exactly a quarter mile by a quarter mile.
Exactly. So the northwest quarter, if it was regular, would be 40 acres, right?
Right.
And if it were regular, because of an accurate survey or somebody not doing their job right, if it was a regular 40-acre quarter section, how big would each of these lots be?
5 acres.
How about that? So the only reason that we are here is because Township 12 South, Range 25 East is irregular. And when that happens, they go to either the north line of the township or the west line of the township, or like against Texas, the east line. But, and they generate lots because it's not a regular 40 acres quarter. And so on the west side of this township, the west half is probably lots 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it is just a variance. And if you're drilling an oil well that requires 40-acre spacing and you have a lot, you still get to drill it. So we're talking about, what would that be? 30,000 square feet? 7/10 of an acre is what each
That
would
sounds
be
right,
off.
yeah. That's
So
pretty
30,000 square feet out of 180,000.
Right.
So we're talking about compliance at about 87%?
Yeah, that's correct, and it's a little less than that, because he owns more property than this. We're dedicating some as street right-of-way for Orchard Park Road on this plat. So he owns more property, but some of it's being dedicated to the county for the plat.
Right. But that's just an easement. I mean, he's still, so I understand PVACD's position, I understand Mr. Whitcamp's position, but I think this is a slam dunk. And because the sergeant's lieutenant probably thought he owned 10 acres.
Right.
So, Mr. Chair, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Zell.
Thank you.
Actually, I do. Lewis, would staff still object if the sergeant drilled one well? And we would kick this can down the road until either he or his sister or both?
I don't believe we would have an
Moved.
issue with that, and that would be acceptable. And being that it is to protect the artesian water basin.
Lewis, quick
Charles
question
Artesian
for
Water
you.
Basin.
2007 Board of Commissioners, do you have any historical knowledge as to why they granted the variance for someone to have less than the 5 acre minimum?
Based on the minutes of the meeting, it was in reference to that FISC number 5 that has 100 or, sorry, almost 1,000 residential lots varying from size, in size from 5,000 square feet to 7,000 square feet. Basically built a city residential subdivision in the county. Then Skyline North was created in 61, and that's 4 acres. There was no minimum requirement at that time.
Okay.
So they based their approval based on those two. The lots next door that are directly east, adjacent to them, were approved for one lot to be less than 5 acres. However, the surveyor afterwards created 4 lots that were less than 5 acres.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Commissioners, any other questions on this?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the variance in cases Z-2021-5, granting a variance to the 5 acre minimum lot size in Area 2.
Is that with the stipulation of one well?
No.
Okay.
Is that finding fact 7? Finding fact that,
Yes, incorporating the findings of fact from the ETZ.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Zell and a second by Commissioner Taylor to approve case Z2021-5, which is variance in the 5 acre minimum lot size, Area 2, with the findings of fact. Any further questions or discussions on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to point out to the sergeant that it is probably in your economic best interest to only drill one well.
No kidding.
But I don't want to include that as a stipulation here. But if you do drill one well, know that you're going to need to disclose that to anybody that ever buys one or both houses. So,
Put a meter
And
on it.
hopefully you'll retire and go to work for the sheriff and stay here.
Can we put that in the stipulation? That's stipulation number 8.
Yes, Louis?
May we include an additional finding of facts being that this would be a hardship based on the division, the previous division of this section, that they were divided in previous lots and that they were not
Mr. Chairman,
possibly-
I move that we strike the purchase of the property as the hardship and replace it with the hardship being the irregular lot size of the northwest quarter of Section 30.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I got seconds all over the house. Okay.
And you can just call me Solomon.
So with everything that Commissioner Zell just said, any further questions or
Anybody
discussion?
write that down?
That
Did you write
is in your
down?
notes, correct, Cindy? Yes? Yes, okay, got it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Passes
Thank you,
unanimously.
Louis.
So,
Thank you, Louis.
Mr. Chairman,
I think it's important to preserve that purchasing the property is not a hardship.
Mr. Chairman,
Cindy needs clarification on the finding fact of number 8,
and
or
I
which
need
one
the,
are you
who
striking?
is going to receive the second?
Let me have a pen. I got you covered.
Okay, all right. Well, who is going to receive the second on the motion?
Give it to Jeff, he's closest.
There you go.
So you're changing number 4
Number 4?
on the findings of fact.
Okay. Louis, do you have number 4? Okay.
I'm doing that right now.
Okay. Okay, I think that's worth noting. Thank you.
But, go ahead and let Calder finish, so. What's that? All right, Bill, I think Commissioner Zell's almost finished with that. Go ahead and start with agenda item 2.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for that. I'm just trying to meet that 11 o'clock at the courthouse.
Right.
Agenda item number 2 is Resolution R-21046, which is ordering the Chaves County Assessor to impose the 2021 certified tax rates. The County Commission receives a certificate of tax rates from GFA each year in September. The Commission is required by statute to issue a written order imposing the tax at the rate set on the net taxable value of the property. A resolution ordering the county assessor to impose those rates must be approved each year. It's important to point out these tax rates are set by the Secretary of DFA and not the county. And also, as Charlotte, as our treasurer pointed out, this year's a little unique in that after the bond election pertaining to, or the bond pertaining to the ELIDA schools, they will issue us a certificate number 1 which is the status quo, which assumes the mill levy questions will not be approved, or Certificate 2 that assumes that all mill levy questions will be approved by a majority of voters, and at that time we'll enact those rates, depending on which ones they are. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, any questions for Bill?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Bilberry.
I recommend approval of Resolution R-21-046, ordering the Chaves County Assessor to impose the 2021 certified tax rates.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Bilberry and a second by Commissioner Ozell to approve Agenda Item 2, Resolution R-21-046, ordering the Chaves County Assessor to impose the 2021 certified tax rates. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Agenda Item number 3 is for Resolution R-21047. This resolution opposes the State of New Mexico's Executive Order number 2021-052, setting a goal of having at least 30% of all lands in New Mexico withdrawn from use and deemed conserved, with an additional 20% designated as climate stabilization areas. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, without reading this resolution, any questions or discussion on it? It's just more of the same that we did back 3 months ago when the federal government came out with this. Commissioner Ozell.
I would let the record reflect that we have read it, but we're just not going to read it aloud.
Correct. No, yes, that's, well,
You're going all Pelosi on us, Mr. Chair.
okay, let me just go ahead, and just read
Pass
this.
it, then we can read it.
Let's just go ahead and read this. And this is a resolution opposing the State of New Mexico Executive Order number 2021-052, setting 30 by 30 land preservation goal. Whereas on January 27, 2021, President Joseph R. Biden Jr. issued Executive Order 14008 entitled Tackling the Climate Crisis at Home and Abroad, 86 Fed Regulation 7619. And whereas in Section 2016 of Executive Order 14008, President Biden directed the Secretary of Interior, Ms. Holland, in consultation with the Secretary of Agriculture and other senior officials, to develop a program to conserve at least 30% of the lands and waters in the United States by 2030, which is called the 3030 program. And whereas on May 20th, 2021, at its regularly scheduled meeting of the Chaves County Board of Commissioners adopted Resolution R-21-023 opposing the federal 30 by 30 program and its objective of permanently preserving 30% of the nation's lands in their natural state by 2030 in any similar program that will set aside and prevent the productive use of millions of acres of our national, state, and county lands. And whereas on August 25th, 2021, the governor of the state of New Mexico issued Executive Order number 2021-052 entitled Protecting New Mexico Lands, Watersheds, Wildlife, and Natural Heritage, with the stated purpose of setting the goal of having at least 30% of all lands in New Mexico conserved by 2030, with an additional 20% designated as climate stabilization areas. And whereas the Chaves County Board of Commissioners acknowledges that while the goal of protecting New Mexico lands, watersheds, wildlife, and natural heritage are commendable, Executive Order 2021-052 lacks detail as to the means and effectiveness of setting aside lands in New Mexico. And whereas the Chaves County Board of Commissioners opposes the use of global climate change as an excuse to set aside large tracts of land as preserves or open space to fulfill the 30 by 30 program's objectives. And whereas Executive Order number 2021-052 fails to state which lands are to be set aside, leading to speculation as the potential impact on state trust lands and generates significant revenue for the state. its local governments, its educational institutions, its infrastructure, and the impact on private ownership of lands. Whereas many of Chaves County's businesses and its citizens are involved in or otherwise depend on industries and utilize both public and private lands and their resources, including the oil and gas industry, livestock grazing, mining, and mineral development, recreational industries, hunting, and other outdoor recreation. And whereas Executive Number 2021-052 fails to recognize that the economy of the state of New Mexico is dependent on the use of its lands, it further fails to recognize that the State of New Mexico State Land Office manages some 9 million surface acres and 12.7 million subsurface areas of trust lands that in 2020 generated a revenue of over $1 billion. And whereas the setting aside of land as proposed would substantially reduce revenues available for state and local governments, education, and infrastructure, and would significantly impact the already tenuous position of the New Mexico economy. And whereas Executive Order Number 2021-052 is vague and ambiguous in detail of how such designated lands within New Mexico will be implemented and lacks any scientific evidence of how such designation is necessary or effective for securing the future of New Mexico. And whereas Executive Order Number 2021-052, if implemented, will conflict with the plans, policies, and programs of Chaves County as specified in the Chaves County's comprehensive plan. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Chaves County, New Mexico, as follows. The Board opposes the Governor's Executive Order Number 2021-052 as it is deficient in detail and lacks any scientific basis for its solution to protect New Mexico lands, watersheds, wildlife, and nature heritage, and natural heritage by setting aside 30% of all lands in New Mexico with an additional 20% set aside as climate stabilization areas. Number two, the Board further opposes the designation of lands in Chaves County as wilderness study areas, wildlife preserves, open space, or other conservation land, thereby restricting public access to such lands and preventing the development and productive use of the resources on or within such lands. Three, the Board supports the continued private ownership of land in the county, recognizing the nation's need for domestic sources of minerals, energy, timber, food, and fiber. Number four, the Board recognizes and supports the state of New Mexico's water rights system and other state laws and programs governing water rights and water use, and opposes any federal designation of waters and water courses within the county that would impair or restrict water diversions and uses authorized under New Mexico law. Number five, the Board supports reasonable national, regional, and global greenhouse gas emissions policies and goals that are comprehensive, practical, cost-effective, and do not unnecessarily single out specific industries or activities, but opposes the use of global climate change as an excuse to set aside large tracts of land as preserves or open space to fulfill the 30 by 30 program's objectives. Number six, the Board also maintains any lands or other rights that are required to fulfill the 30 by 30 program's objectives should be acquired only from willing landowners and for the payment full and a fair market value for all rights and interests acquired, and not through regulatory you're going to have to pronounce that word. Compulsion, and only after analyzing and considering the impacts of such land acquisitions on the well-being, healthy, safety, welfare, economy, and culture of Chaves County, its businesses, and its citizens. Now, therefore, be it further resolved that the Board of Chaves County Commissioners shall send a copy of this resolution to the state of New Mexico and any other relevant state agencies.
Chairman.
Really, good job.
Okay, it's out there now. Commissioners, any questions or discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Resolution R-21-047, opposing the State of New Mexico Executive Order Number 2021-052, setting a 30 by 30 land preservation goal.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Zell and a second by Commissioner Bilberry on agenda item 3, which is resolution R-21-047, a resolution opposing the State of New Mexico Executive Order Number 2021-052, setting 30 by 30 land preservation goal. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Ms. Annabelle.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Agenda item number 4 is Resolution R-21-48, which is an approval of a budget adjustment. We are requesting a budget adjustment for line items in Exhibit A. These adjustments are for various grants that have been awarded for Chaves County and a sale of the county property from the Sheriff's Office. Staff recommends approval.
Questions for Ms. Annabelle, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Bilberry.
I recommend approval. Agenda item number 4, Resolution R-21-048, approval of budget adjustments for the year 21-22.
Second.
And a motion by Commissioner Bilberry and a second by Commissioner Zell to approve agenda item 4, which is resolution R-21-048, the approval of budget adjustment for the fiscal year 2021-22. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 5 is a request for out-of-state travel. This ties back to agenda item number 4. We did have a Keep Chaves County Beautiful grant, and so we are requesting out-of-state travel for the funds that were awarded to travel to the Keep America Beautiful National Conference. This conference will take place in Washington, D.C. from November 14th through the 17th. Sean Davis, the chairman for the Keep Chaves County Beautiful Board, will be the traveler. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the request for out-of-state travel for the Keep Chaves County Beautiful person to travel to the Keep America Beautiful Conference.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Zell to approve agenda item 5, which is a request for out-of-state travel for the Keep Chaves County Beautiful organization. Send them off to Washington, D.C. Any further questions or discussion? And unfortunately, Ms. Rita's not here for her religious beliefs, so she's not here to stand up and talk about this. But any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. All right.
Thank you. Agenda item number 6 is the Chaves County's Moody's rating for 2021. We did conduct an interview with Moody's Investor Services, and we did receive our New Mexico issuer rating. And so I would like to congratulate and thank previous administration, current administration, as we did have our rating increase from an A1 to a double A3. And so, Chaves County had increasingly positive financial performance over the last 3 fiscal years. So we do expect that to continue over the near term. I did attach the report that has more highlights of Chaves County, along with its credit strengths, challenges, and factors that could lead to an upgrade or a downgrade. This report is only for your information, and no approval or action is required.
Commissioners, any question on this Moody's rating? I think it's a great deal, but any questions? Yeah.
I agree.
Stan did want me to note this is the highest that Chaves County has ever received.
Very, very impressive.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Yes. Good job.
Okay, keep rolling it. Let's go.
Agenda item number 7. This is the DFA approval.
Let her
We-
bask in her glory for a little bit.
That's fine. I know you got an important meeting. We did receive the final approval from DFA for our fiscal year 21-22 final budget. There is no motion required, but per their section 662E NMSA 1978, LGD has reviewed and certified the final budget. So this needs to be part of our minutes for our governing body according to that section. And thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, agenda item number 8 is to ratify the letter which we sent out to the governor on August 24th, requesting that she reevaluate her order requiring healthcare workers to be vaccinated to perform their jobs. The letter was signed individually by each of the commissioners after attending the press conference hosted by the New Mexico senators and representatives, members of our medical community and local leaders. This ratification will make this an official action of the Board of Commissioners. And if it's all right, I'll go ahead and read it.
Please do.
This is to the Honorable Michelle Lujan Grisham, Governor, State of New Mexico, State Capitol Building, Suite 400, Santa Fe, New Mexico 87501, reference medical facilities. Dear Governor Lujan Grisham, today the Chaves County Board of Commissioners attended a press conference where many doctors, nurses, and members of our medical community joined with several New Mexico senators and representatives and other local leaders to speak out against the plan to prohibit unvaccinated workers from entering healthcare facilities. The intent of this letter is to request that you reevaluate the order requiring that healthcare workers be vaccinated to perform their jobs. Current reports show that most New Mexicans have been vaccinated. To mandate that this or any other group be forced to choose between their livelihood or their right to determine what is the appropriate course of action for themselves is inherently wrong. As you are aware, most of the counties within our state are located in remote areas where filling any specialized positions, such as those in our healthcare facilities, is difficult. We consistently face staffing shortages in the field of healthcare. To make any restrictions which would prevent our healthcare workers from going to work to provide for the medical needs of our communities would effectively create a staffing shortage, restriction of services, and closure of facilities that would prevent our residents from being able to get medical care. From the beginning of the pandemic, our doctors, nurses, and other medical staff have been stepping forward to provide treatment for those who were ill, even though it could be potentially grave consequences for them. Through the course of the last year, these people determined that the best course was for them to follow given what they knew about health care. The choice to vaccinate or not should be based on many factors and not a choice anyone should make for anyone else. Now, the dedication and selfless actions of these professionals who have willingly served our communities are being treated with disdain. In the populated areas of our state, this action, although morally wrong, would not cause people to be unable to receive needed medical care. But in our remote area, that is exactly what we can expect. It is our request that you allow medical facilities in New Mexico to continue to meet the health care needs of our communities. To continue with this order as presented would devastate our community health care system and would effectively prevent medical care to our residents. We know that many persons have fought diligently to stop the spread of COVID-19 and its variants, but none more so than our doctors, nurses, and medical professionals who now have come forward requesting that we support their rights and abilities to provide for their families. We remain hopeful that the spike in COVID-19 cases and its numerous variants will decline in the same manner as it has in the countries where these variants were first encountered. We appreciate the efforts that you have made that have reopened our schools and businesses. We now ask that you reconsider the recent order, which has far-reaching implications for most of New Mexico. Thank you for your consideration of this request. And signed by the Chaves County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you for reading that, Bill. Okay, Commissioners, just real quick, any comments or discussion on that?
I move ratification of the August 24, 2021 letter to the governor.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Zell and a second by Commissioner Bilberry to, on agenda item 8, ratifying the signed letter sent to the governor. Any more questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. All right, who's spending money today?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of checks in the amount of $2,028,004.77.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Commissioner Bilberry and a second by Commissioner Dana to approve the checks at the amount of $2,028,004.77. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Approval of reports.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve reports.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dana and seconded by Commissioner Taylor for approval of reports. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. All right. Unscheduled communications limited to 3 minutes per visitor, not to exceed 15 minutes. No formal action taken by the commission. If you'd like to come speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I have to get my notes all set up. Larry Conley, 2815 Encanto, Roswell, in the great county of Chaves. I'm a member of the ETZ Commission, and we've always had a problem on, and it's no reflection on Lewis or on Marlin, but we never had access to any money. And there are a lot of properties that in the county, they may be in the city, they may be in the county, that are a nuisance. And here in the current ordinance that Lewis came up, it says section 1.3 purpose. Down at the bottom it says, and the control and abatement of unsightly use of buildings or land. Well, I gave you all this. This is on the east side. There you go, Stan. Anybody else have, they're free. You can look at them. But
For the audience.
thank you. This is on the east side of South Main. It's across the street from the Asian market. It's where next door to the little Thai restaurant or, thing. This is horrible. Poor Mike brings somebody from out of town looking, expand here in Chaves County. They drive by that. It looks like hell. What I'm proposing is that we set up a private committee of 5 people, well-respected, with 2 unofficial members, Bill Williams and Joe Nebb, to sit in. It'd be a private, and we'd say, hey, we should have these properties abated. But the problem, there's no money. So my proposal is the county and the city agree on making a pool of money. This is going back to 1979, 1980, the original ETZ file paper. It was for $48,000 pool of money, $24,000 from the county, $24,000 from the city. Now, if they did this back in 1979, what, that's 50 years ago? Why can't we do it now? So I'm hoping by the October meeting of the City Council in Roswell, and the County Commissioners, that you will come up with a pool of money saying, hey, 100,000. You will have the final decision. But the committee of 5 people would say, hey, we suggest you do tear down this building. And it's gonna cost $12,000. And then you can vote for it, City Council, or you can vote against it. I stand. I'm done.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else want to come up for public comment?
Anybody want to be free? You can.
Anybody else? Going
Get
once,
them framed.
going twice. All right, Bill Williams, you're up.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I want to thank people from our community coming out and helping us with things. Larry, thank you for bringing these ideas to our attention, and we want to work on these. I think we're all in the same boat. We want to do it. I also want to thank Ernie, who didn't come up. Ernie Mita and I spoke quite a bit last week about repairing some problems that we have at our compactor sites and all, and we spoke quite in depth, and I want to thank him for coming to the meeting today. And even though we didn't get to hear his comments, thank you for coming. I want to say how happy I am that Rise with Roswell is going to come again. That's my favorite event of the entire year, and I'm really glad that that's coming back. And the only other thing I wanted to say is I want to thank you, commissioners, both now and the previous commissioners and the previous administration and everyone that worked. I see Sonny Chancey back there on the elevator. If it hadn't been for all the efforts of all the people that have put time into this, we wouldn't be going from here to cut the ribbon on the elevator and to dedicate it to our community. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Commissioner Taylor.
I'll keep it short. I think it's a great day that we're going to have the dedication of this elevator. This started many, many years ago when I was on the commission. Even the first time we came up with an elevator, and of course it didn't work. And I'm just happy to see that we finally have a solution, and it's going to be a great day to dedicate it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Dana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is Yom Kippur, the new Jewish New Year, and that's why Miss Rita told me she is praying for all of us. Thank you very much, Miss Rita. Shalom and blessings for a sweet year, and hopefully we will have a sweet year. We need it. Thank you for everybody within the county. Thank you for everything that you do. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Zell.
I will also be brief because I know we've got to go, but the increase in the county's credit rating by Moody's is a big deal.
Huge.
And congratulations to Annabelle and her predecessors for getting us in such great shape. And thanks to everybody else, all the department heads that are doing such a good job. And keep up the good work.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Bilberry.
Just reflect what everybody said. Thank you for all of everybody's hard work once again, and it's the greatest county in the state.
There you go. You said it right. Well, I'll just ditto everything everybody said. Commissioner Zell, has the sale already started out at the fairgrounds, or does it start tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Okay, it starts tomorrow. Well, I want to give a lot of compliments to everybody but I'm going to start right over there with Commissioner Zell and former Commissioner Duffy and our fair board and others that helped make the sale happen with the livestock and give these kids an opportunity to do what they've been working so hard for over the last, was it take 2, 3, 4 years as they develop? But they're getting to do this And it's coming here to Chaves County. And it happens because we have a fair board that really stepped up and is making that happen. And so it's a great thing for Chaves County and in this community. But a lot of kudos go to our fair board. So thank you guys for getting that and making that happen for all these guys. And with that, Mike, everybody, Andrea's already gone. Everybody works so hard to do great things for Chaves County, and that's what makes us such an amazing family. And it's great to see Sonny back there in the back room. I haven't seen Sonny in, gosh, a while. Well, I've seen you at Sam's or somewhere in that 5 years, but really appreciate all the hard work that everybody has done now and in the past and the future to make this such an amazing county and put us in great financial positions. And yeah, how amazing is that? And to our law enforcement guys, keep it trucking. We really appreciate all the work you guys do to keep our county safe. And I know sometimes you guys get frowned upon and people put hammers down on you because you're doing your jobs, but if you're not doing your jobs, then we've got a lot of problems around here. So thank you all for the work that you're doing. Cindy, you got an election coming up. You got everything. When does early voting start?
October 5th.
October 5th. So the day after the fair, after the parade and everything. Okay, good. Well, appreciate everything. Louis, great job. Appreciate everything. Larry, thanks for your presentation and conversation. And we'll look forward to trying to figure out some of those. I'm not sure what that $48,000 that was put together by the county and city back in, what'd you say, 78 or 79? 79. But we'll look forward to trying to work with the city so we can get some of these properties cleaned up and do the right things. And with that being said, we're going to go sign documents, and then we're going to meet everybody who wants to be there at the county courthouse so that we can do a ribbon cutting for the elevator that we finally have gotten in there. So thank you to everybody. God bless you. God bless this country. God bless Chaves County, and God bless America.
And it's 4th and Virginia at the courthouse.
Parking.